Hello and welcome to this yoga stretch sequence to get a deep stretch and promote flexibility in the body. Thank you for joining me on this journey of mastering relaxation. Meet your body and your mind where it is today. And if any of these poses do not work, you can skip or modify them. And grab any prop that you feel that you may need. We will be using yoga blocks in today's sequence. And remember, your body is the guru. Honor and listen to it. Let's begin our practice either in easy seated pose or seated on the calves in hero's pose. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And use this moment to ground as you prepare to move and stretch in your body. Take a few clearing, deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, then exhale out through the mouth. Try that a few more times, releasing any pent-up or tightness in our energy. If your eyes were closed, gently blink them open. Staying in easy seated pose or seated up in hero's pose. Interlace the fingers behind the lower back. Pull the shoulders down and back. Move your scapulas in towards each other as you draw your heart center forward. Lengthen your tailbone down. The big toes are touching. Take the knees out wide and melt the heart forward for child's pose. You can melt the forehead down on a blanket, a block, or just on the ground. As you lengthen the spine and the sides of your body, let your hips grow heavy, push them back, and soften the upper back down towards the ground. Inhale, bring your head up, and then walk the hands over to the left, placing the right hand right on top of the left hand, and then melt the heart down for a side stretch. Continue to push the hips back. Inhale to walk the hands through the center of the mat and move over to the opposite side, placing the left hand on the right hand. Continue to keep the shoulders square, so make sure you're dropping your left shoulder down towards the ground. Inhale the head up, come back to center, and then come over your legs to find a seated position. Take the right leg straight in front of you. Bend the left knee and place the left ankle above the right knee. Then bend the right knee, lean back, place the right sole of the foot onto the ground, coming into a seated reclined pigeon. Move the heel closer to the hips to get in deeper, and flex the left toes towards the left knee to protect the knee. Push into the ground, lengthen your back, draw your shoulders down and back, and push the left knee away from the left shoulder. Make sure you're not clenching the muscles of your face. Breathe smoothly. And if you find that you have more space, you can move the hips a little bit closer towards the right foot. Take an inhale to release. Let's move over to the opposite side. Right ankle right above the left knee. Find the variation that works for you. The hips may not feel identical, so you may find more space on one side. Make sure to flex the right toes towards the knee. Make sure you're not clenching or squeezing the shoulders up by the ears, and that you're maintaining a flat back. Release the legs down. Find your way over your legs. Make your way into tabletop position. And set up the wrists right under the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Tuck the back toes under, push into the hands, and send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Send your heart center towards your upper thighs and begin to pedal out through the legs, stretching your hamstrings and your glutes. Even in this inverted position, make sure to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Come up to the tips of your toes and then drop the heels over towards the left for a side body stretch. Come through center and then drop the heels over to the right. Breathing deeply. Release and come back to center. Take an inhale to push the hips back, and then exhale, step or walk forward towards the hands. Take an inhale, come to a flat back, hands on the shins. Exhale, fold forward. Take an inhale, and then plant the hands on the ground. Exhale to step the feet back into plank. Continue to exhale down to chaturanga, elbows back and towards the body. Inhale to roll over the tops of the feet for upward facing dog. Exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Come up onto the tips of the toes and send the right foot back and up for three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, send the right toes towards the left, and then use an exhalation to step the right foot forward to the outside of the right hand for lizard. Gently place the left knee down, untuck the left toes, melt the hips forward, and you have the option to place blocks under the hands here. Elongate your spine, draw your heart center forward. To move deeper, you can rest down on the forearms. Continue to draw your heart center forward and soften the hips forward. Also check the alignment of the knees and the ankle. Make sure the right knee is stacked right over the right ankle and that the right toes and the right knee are pointed in the same direction. To release, bring the upper body up and then heel toe the right foot over to the left side, coming into pigeon pose. The right shin is either parallel with the front of the mat or draw the right heel in towards the hips. Use the left back toes to move the left knee back, square your hips, pull the right hip back and the left hip forward, square your shoulders forward. Elongate the spine as you inhale on your fingertips and then exhale to fold forward. Inhale, grow the spine long. Exhale, like a wave, draw your heart center down. One more time. And then your exhale to land the forehead either on a block, a blanket, or on the ground. And soften and surrender the upper back, the upper body. And make sure that you're breathing smoothly and that you're not holding your breath or clenching any other muscles. To inhale, push the hands into the ground. Bring the upper body up. Tuck the left toes under and push back into downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs to release. And then walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold at the back of the mat, and take an inhale to come up halfway, find a flat back. Exhale to fold forward and release. Grab opposite elbows and shake out the head, yes and no, releasing the neck and shoulders. And to release the back, you can move the upper body up and down or sway the upper body side to side to release the lower back. Take an inhale, come up to a half back, and as you exhale, walk the hands out into a plank. Find chaturanga, elbows back and towards the side of the body. And then inhale, Heart center forward, shoulders relax into upward dog. Exhale to push back into downward facing dog. Come up to the tips of your toes and take the left leg back and up for three-legged dog. Bend the left knee, send the left toes towards the right. Exhale to step the left foot up to the outside of the left hand, finding lizard on the second side. Left knee is stacked over the left ankle. Left toes and left knee are pointed in the same direction. And find the variation that works for you. Feel the sensations of your body and how your body is communicating to you. Both hips are not symmetrical, so you may find that you have more space on one side and the other side may need something else. Support your body and listen to it. Continue to lengthen your spine, sending your heart center forward and the shoulders back towards the hips. Push into the hands to bring the upper body up to release, and heel toe the left foot all the way to the right for pigeon. Find the position of the legs that works for you. Make sure the hips are squared by pulling the left hip back and the right hip forward. Use your fingertips to push into the ground, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold forward, like the waves of the ocean. Inhale to come up. Exhale, fold forward. One more time. As you exhale to stay, use your awareness and scan through your body. How you feel and the sensations of your body are more important than how the pose looks. Making sure there's no pinching or crunching sensations in any of your joints. Making sure the muscles of your face are soft and that you're breathing easily. Push into the hands to step back into downward facing dog. Pedal out through the legs to release. Take a couple more breath cycles in downward facing dog. And now we're going to release the knees down to the ground. Keep the hips stacked right over the knees. And then walk the hands forward overhead and melt the heart center down for puppy pose. Feel free to use a prop under the forehead if needed. Relax the upper back down as you send your tailbone high. Soften your shoulders, soften your heart center. Inhale, gently push into the hands to come up and then roll the spine forward and come to lie flat on the stomach. We're going to take a shoulder stretch. Bring the left arm out, straight to the left in a T shape, and then lie down on the left side of the cheek and shift to roll into the left side of the body onto your left hip. Bend the right knee and bring the right foot behind the left leg or keep the legs stacked on one another. Another variation of this pose is to send the right arm behind the lower back. Inhale to release, roll onto the stomach. Let's move over to the right side. Stretch the right arm out into a T shape. Rest on the right cheek and use the left hand in front of the chest to roll onto the right side of the body. Place the left foot either behind you or stack the legs. Find what your body needs today. Listen to it. You can keep the left fingertips on the ground or Bring the left arm behind the lower back, getting a little bit deeper into the chest. Maintain your nice, easy inhalations and exhalations. Roll the body onto the stomach to release. Let's move into child's pose. Bring the big toes together. Take the knees out wide. Melt the upper body between the legs. Rest and soften down. Feel the support of the ground as you release any holding in the body. Can you feel the waistline of your pants expand and decrease as you breathe deeply and freely? Soften the expression on the face, the fingers, and the toes. Let the arms and the upper body be heavy here. And even in child's pose, as you inhale, imagine you're lengthening your spine. And as you exhale, you're softening into the space that you created. Inhale to lengthen and expand. Exhale to soften, release, and relax. Inhale, gently roll the body up to a seated position. You can find easy seated pose or take hero's pose, seated on the calves. To end today's practice, I will share a quote from the poet Rumi. Life is a balance between holding on and letting go. Flexibility is knowing when to do each. Send the arms out around and up, the palms touch overhead, and then land the palms at the forehead as a reminder to observe our thoughts and inner voice. They create our reality. Palms to the lips as a reminder to watch our speech and words. They are energy. Palms come to the heart center as a reminder that peace begins with me. Thank you for joining me for practice. Peace and ease to you.